Alright, so if you're watching this on YouTube, here's the answers to the practice problems that you just did. And you can pause your screen if you need to, otherwise we're moving along. So now what we are going to be doing we're going to call this B, and we are solving more difficult equations. Uh-oh. Solving more difficult equations. Alright, so if you kind of look back and glance at these practice problems that we just did, all of the problems had just one variable in them. Agreed? Well, we're going to kind of expand from that. The problems that we're going to do next, they're going to have not more than one variable, but they're going to have more than one variable. Here's what I mean. We're going to be working on stuff like 5 is equal to, now we got 5m minus 23 plus 2m. And you don't have different letters as variables in this problem, but you have multiple m's, don't you? You got a 5 times the m and you got a 2 times the m. And when you see a problem that looks like this, alright, and in this case your 5m and your 2m, they're on the same side of the equal sign. The first thing that you do in this case, anytime that you have more than one of the same variable on the same side of the equal sign, or more than one of a number on the same side of the equal sign, the step that you do, real important, is called combine like terms. And in this case, like terms is the 5 times the m and the 2 times the m. Okay? So what you do is you rewrite the problem and you combine the 5m and the positive 2m. So what you get is that 5 is equal to your 5m plus your 2m. That's a 7m. And this minus 23 still stays minus 23. So there it is. And now after one step, you have problems that looked like the ones you did yesterday. Right? We did these yesterday, where we then isolated the variable and then did the inverse operation. So once you've done that first step and you've combined your like terms, now you're going to add 23 to each side. And it's going to be 23, not. I'm going to add 23 to each side. So you get a 28 equals a 7m. And now you divide both sides by the 7. And on the left, 28 divided by 7 is 4. And on the right, the 7's cancel, and you're just left with the m. So your 4 is equal to m. So take a look at 11m minus 8. Minus 6m is equal to 22. Alright, now your like terms are your 11m and your negative 6m. So So you got to combine these two right here. So 11m minus 6m, that would be equal to 5m. And then your negative 8 just falls down, and it's all still equal to 22. And then you can add 8 to each side. And your 5m is going to be equal to 30. And then you can divide both sides by 5. These 5s will cancel each other out, and your m is equal to 6. Anybody got a problem with that? Question, problem, question, confused, not confused, just shaking your head? All good, thumbs up. Let's do one more because we're having so much fun. Let's do a negative 2y. And we're going to go plus 5. And then a plus 5y. And we're going to make that equal to 14. And now we're going to combine our negative 2y and our 5y. And when you combine a negative 2y plus a 5y, you get 3y. The plus 5 falls down, and it's still equal to 14. So we're going to subtract 5 from each side. And 3y will equal 9. And then we're going to divide each side by 3. So y is equal to 3. Any questions there? Yes, sir? Of course. Yep, always can be fractions. And that's why that calculator, that TI-30XA, is so helpful, is that thing does fractions for you. You don't have to do anything except I can teach you how to type the fraction in, and it'll show up on your screen as a fraction. And very simple to deal with. Alright? And then the second type of problem in the second half of this class today is we're going to solve equations using what's called the distributive property. And here's what the distributive property looks like. We're going to get like negative 8. Let's take a negative 8. And it's right next to a set of parentheses, and inside the parentheses we've got a 2x minus 1. And that's all equal to 36. Now, when you've got a number outside a set of parentheses, a number or a letter next to parentheses means to multiply. So it means you got to take that negative 8 and multiply it by 2x minus 1. And that's what's called the distributive property. You have to distribute this negative 8. You got to distribute it to the 2 and to the negative 1. And when you do that, negative 8 times 2x is negative 16x. And now you got negative 8 times, this is a negative 1. So negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. And it's equal to 36. And after one step, we've put the problem back in the same format as we did yesterday. Just like the problems we just did. We combined like terms and we made the problem look like yesterday. Now we're going to do distributive property and make the problem look like yesterday. So now we just subtract 8 from each side. And 16 or negative 16x is equal to 36 minus 8. That's 28, right? 28. And then we're going to divide both sides by the negative 16. So the 16s cancel. And x is equal to, now you've got a positive divided by a negative. So we're going to put this 28 over 16 into simplest form. A positive over a negative is equal to a negative. And 28 and 16 are both divisible by 4, right? You're going to find the largest number that goes into both. So the 4 goes into 28 7 times, and it goes into 16 4 times. So there's your solution in simplest form, negative 7/4. Let's try another one of those. Let's do a 18 equals 3 times 2x minus 6. Now your distributive property is on the right hand side of the equal sign, but it doesn't change anything. You still got to distribute this 3. You got to distribute the 3 to the 2x and to the negative 6. So our 18 is equal to 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times negative 6 is equal to negative 18. Next thing is to add 18 to each side. So we get 36 is equal to 6x. And then we divide both sides by 6. And 6 is equal to x. So you guys alright with the distributive property? Alright, so combining like terms and the distributive property. So let me give you some practice problems to do. Alright, that's it for the second part of the assignment today.